Welcome back to Healthy Bites. Today I'm going to show you an Afghani rice dish called Qabooli. Now Qabooli is a sort of a biryani, but it has Afghani roots wherein it used to be made even as far back as 5,000 years ago. And it's a mix of dal and rice, and I'm going to be using brown rice in this recipe. The ingredients are brown rice, chana dal, sliced onions, coriander, mint, cardamom, cloves, saffron, cinnamon, milk, little bit of ajwain, haldi, carrots, raisins, salt, asafoetida or hing, chilies, curds, garam masala, lemon juice, ginger paste, garlic paste. So the first step is to cook the rice. Now the Afghanis love to have layers of flavor in their food. So even when they cook the rice, they would put all the flavoring. I'm going to put a couple of pods of cardamom, some cinnamon sticks and clove. And then a little bit of salt, because it's important to salt at every stage, particularly for these kind of dishes that cook long and slow. So a little bit of salt. This is 2 cups of rice, so about 5.5 cups of water. And then I'm going to cook it for about 3 whistles until it is just done. So next let's cook the dal. Now the idea is to cook all of this long and slow, so I'm not going to put everything into the pressure cooker. It's just the rice to cook it that little bit soft. So all you need to do with the dal, it's been soaking for about 2 hours, so it's nice and soft. Add a little bit more water to it and then add some haldi, salt, and let it cook. You don't want it to become completely mushy. Let it still be that you can see its pieces, and that is what gives the texture to this biryani. And the next step is of course to make this really as fragrant as possible, and as the Afghanis do, we're going to use saffron. So saffron was something that was commonly grown in their areas, and therefore it was liberally used in all of their food, and of course has brilliant properties. It's really good when you have a cold. Just put a little bit of saffron in some hot milk, drink that up, and it eases your congestion. So you're just going to let the saffron steep in a little bit of milk, and in the meantime let's saute our onions. But I'm going to show you how to saute onions without using oil, because oil is really refined and processed and we don't need it. We can get lubrication by eating raw coconut or by eating nuts in any form. That will give the lubrication that is needed. So in a nice hot pan, we're going to start with the tadka, which is a little bit of hing and some ajwain. And because your pan is hot, it will start popping in a few minutes, and you can smell that fragrance and the tadka already. Once it starts popping, we're going to add the ginger garlic paste. And so the onions are a very important part of this Qabooli, because the Afghanis used to grow a lot of onions and it was an integral part of their cooking, and they used to flavor the onions from the beginning such that it took on the flavoring of the whole dish itself. So next we're going to add in the onions. You absolutely don't need oil for this. Just keep mixing it up, and we'll add a few drops of water so that things don't catch at the bottom and burn. But let's add the rest of the flavorings. So that's some garam masala, okay. And we're going to add some chilies. Add a little bit of water and let that cook until it's nice and soft. So the onions are beautiful and caramelized. What I'm going to do is keep half aside, and the other half will become part of the masala with the chana dal. So what we now need to do is just add the cooked chana dal. So you can see that it is still, you can see its little pieces. That's perfect. You want that texture in the biryani. So just and let this sort of soak up all the flavor of those onions. And what we're going to do now is add a little bit of coriander, little bit of pudina. So if you look at Middle Eastern food, there's always this shift between sweet, sour, savory, all of that happening in the same dish. And Qabooli is no different, because it's going to have carrots and raisins put right on top, which sort of leaks down and all the sweetness comes in. So Qabooli is just like that. It's got the sweet and sour notes, it's got lemon juice, it's got carrots and raisins right on top, which gives that sweet hint. So what we're going to do is do a little bit more of tadka of the same spices that we put into the rice, so those flavors also get enhanced. And all I'm going to do, again oilless, is in a hot pan, I'm going to put in the cinnamon sticks, clove and cardamom. And in the meantime, along with the dal, I'm going to add the rest of the haldi, the garam masala, and just mix that through. And as soon as this has started becoming fragrant and started popping, I'm going to add that in. So dry fruits, grapes, all of these have been found in Afghani cuisine for the last 5,000 years, because of which it's a very common occurrence in all their food. You'll find that there'll always be something sweet that is in their food, lots and lots of dry fruits. It's a must in any food that they have. So this is nice and fragrant. You'll also find that the cloves start to thicken up as they sort of become nice and hot, and that is when the true flavor of cloves comes out. So I can smell everything here. That's perfect. I'm going to put it into the dal, and it's time to layer. So once the dal mixture has cooled down a little bit, add some curds. And this is also typically sort of Middle Eastern or Afghani, because they always have these combinations happening. And that gives it that little bit of gravy, and time to layer. Now, so to layer all the flavors, it's important, don't wash your pan, because it's already got so much of flavor in it. We're going to lose it if we're going to wash. So what I like to do is start with the rice first. And I like to layer the rice at the bottom, because that goes nice and crunchy as we cook it again. So you don't need oil, just layer the rice in. Those sticky, crunchy bits at the bottom are the best. Okay. Then we're going to put in a layer of our chana dal mixture and just evenly push it around. So this is something, imagine when the nomads were going around Afghanistan, they would have made this in the morning, they'd have a little clay oven that they have all of this in, and they'll be going around and this will be cooking through the day. So imagine how flavorful and beautiful it'll be. And at each point, put in a little bit of coriander, some pudina, some of those sauteed onions. Spread it around evenly so that everyone who has a bite will get a little bit of everything. Put in a little bit of our saffron infused milk. That's where the richness of this dish comes from. A little bit of lemon juice. Like I said, Middle Eastern food is all about balancing flavor. A little bit of lemon juice. A few carrots. Carrots was something that have been found in Afghani cuisine for the last 5,000 years. And continue layering until all of it is done. So I've layered the rice and the dal mixture and the pudina, the coriander, all of those yummy flavors. And all I've done on top is a little bit of raisin and some carrot sticks, because carrot was really popular in Afghani food even up to 3,000, 5,000 years ago. And that's it. Close it, let it cook for another 20 minutes. Everything is parboiled at this point, and we want that base to have that really nice crunch, and it'll be done. So the Qabooli has been on the flame for about 20 minutes, and let's plate up. So I love this recipe of a traditional Afghani biryani wherein they use dal. It's layered with lots of different onions and carrots, and these are all things that are very traditionally Afghani. So this is my recipe for Qabooli, a traditional Afghani biryani and lentil dish which has about 5,000 years of history, extremely healthy, made with brown rice and using no oil.